Hey y'all, it's Sierra, aka Capricorn Moon Goddess, back with another pick a card reading for you all. Well, this might be a pick a card, or I might just decide to make 3 separate videos. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but when I was pulling the cards, I was like, wow, this is gonna be like a really long pick a card video based on the messages that are coming out. So I don't know if I'm going to leave it as a pick a card or turn it into 3 separate videos. As you can see, pile number 3 has 3 cards for you to choose from. So I was like, what the what is going on? I asked for 1 card for each pile, and pile 3 had 3 cards. But notice they all are flowers. So if you are meant to choose pile number 3, maybe flowers are significant to you in some way, shape, or form. We have a sunflower, we have a lily, and we have a flower bouquet that came out for pile 3. Also, I did a reading yesterday, and one of the cards that came out for one of the piles was the sunflower. So maybe you watched yesterday's reading, or maybe you need to watch it after this. I don't remember what it's called or anything like that, but it's the reading that was done before this one, the day before this one. So anyway, the way that pick a cards work is you are going to choose the pile that has the card, or in the case of pile 3, the cards plural that are calling out to you, okay? And then you're going to go into the timestamp or the description box or the comment section, and you're going to click on the corresponding timestamp for that reading. You're going to want to use your intuition to do this. You don't want to make it too difficult. If the number 3 is significant for you, you may want to choose pile number 3 because 3 cards came out for that one. Otherwise, pile number 1 is the bird. Pile number 2 is the ram. And pile number 3 is the sunflower, the lily, and the flower bouquet. So as far as pile 2, you may be an Aries or have Aries in your birth chart somewhere, since the ram is there. So yeah, pile number 1 is the bird, pile number 2 is the ram, pile number 3 is the sunflower, the flower bouquet, and the lily. So this video is going to be about what needs to be healed within your maternal bloodline. So what are some generational curses that you may have? What are some traumas that are being passed down, some cycles that are being repeated? That comes specifically from your maternal bloodline. Okay. Also, you may have Native American ancestry. Even if you are not considered Native American by today's standards, if you are African American without ties back to Africa or Jamaica or Haiti or Trinidad. You know how some African Americans they're able to, they have family members that are actually in those other places, those other countries, those other continents, and they have maybe parents that were immigrants or something like that, or it's pretty close within their generation as far as being able to directly link themselves to an immigrant. If you are African American and you really don't know what your origins are or have ties, you probably have Native American. So my family in particularly has Cherokee. So a lot of these cards are probably going to be kind of similar to what you would find in Native American culture. Okay, so anyway, go ahead and pause the video if you need to, so we can get into this foolishness, because this is just about to be messy. Okay, anytime you're looking into family stuff, it's gonna be messy. So go ahead, choose your pile. As you can see, I'm already wore out. Like, Lord, what is this foolishness about to be? Go ahead, choose your pile, and then I will see you at your reading. Hey, pile number 1, you all chose. I need to be careful putting these cards over this flame. You all chose pile number, or you all chose the bird card. Okay, so this is a bird that is blue. I like to see birds as messengers, and as you can see, this bird has a scroll or a piece of paper, some sort of message in its beak. Okay, so the color blue may be significant to you all. You may need to heal your throat chakra. Also, you may have been receiving messages from your ancestors via animals or birds or nature, something like that. So let's get started. Okay, so we are starting with the Son of Air, which is equivalent to the Knight of Swords. We have the Three of Fire, which is the Three of Wands. Fire is wands, I believe. The Seven of Air, which is the Seven of Wands, futility. I think that's how you say that. The plural version of futile. And then Daughter of Water, which is going to be the Page of Cups. So this is definitely telling me that you all have been receiving messages from your ancestors. You may or may not have been aware. But this is also telling me that you all, there may be a theme in your family where people basically feel defenseless. Like maybe you feel like you had a parent that should have defended you more in your life, especially with the Son of Air, which is the Knight of Wands. You almost feel like you were not protected, like you did not have anyone to come to your defense. With the Seven of Air or the Seven of Wands, that also represents being defensive, having to protect yourself. And because you had to be so defensive, or maybe it's not you, maybe it's one of your parents that did not feel like they were protected as a child, maybe something happened to them and they had to keep their guard up often, they may be a very defensive person now. Okay, they may be the type of person that will bite your head off if you say anything, and they might take it the wrong way, or instead of taking accountability for their actions, they may basically just get very defensive and kind of almost be like, well, it's not my delivery, it's how you took it, I didn't mean it that way. No, you might not, this person might not have the best delivery. So you may have grown up with a parent that didn't have the best delivery when they were speaking to you or talking to you, and they may have been very, very defensive. This could be because something happened to them as a child where they did not feel protected, and maybe something happened to you as a child where you didn't feel protected as well. And your parent could be a Pisces, possibly. With the, sometimes the way they are, they see things a lot differently. They'll sometimes, they can have that victim archetype sometimes. So yeah, let's see what else we have. Son of Fire, which is Knight of Wands. Yet again, another knight. Okay, what do knights represent in history? They represent defense. They represent avenging people. They represent rescuing people. Okay, so there's something about not feeling protected and defended that is being passed down from generation to generation. Okay, we have 31. L has divine might foretold. Now this is from Alana Fairchild's Earth Warriors Oracle, and I don't like to use Alana Fairchild's Oracle decks in my pick a cards, but I love to use her decks. I really, really love her decks, but trying to use them for pick a cards, they are so deep. It's kind of like, oh my, it would be like way too much, but I was led to use this deck and to read from the book. Y'all know I really don't read from the book like that, but with Alana Fairchild, she does a lot of research. She tells a lot of information about the symbolism and why she chose what she chose. So I'm just going to read what this card says. It says, you know what is correct. You understand that any gain which comes from denying your values and compromising yourself creates a loss of soul. There are times when it may seem as though people who act without integrity. Let me show y'all something. What does this card say? This card says integrity. Okay? Let me read that line again. There are times when it may seem as though people who act without integrity are obtaining benefit without negative repercussions. So, like I said, feeling like somebody has done you wrong, somebody has victimized you, and you were not given the proper defense against that person, and that person was not punished, okay? And this could be you, or this could be a significant person in your family, like your mother, grandmother, aunt, something like that. This is something that doesn't necessarily have to pertain to you, but it could pertain to why your relationship is the way it is with particular family members, okay? It says life can seem unfair if you limit yourself to a strictly human perspective. Yet nothing escapes the attention of the spiritual worlds. You hear that? Nothing escapes the attention of the spiritual world. So just because you don't see people's karma playing out doesn't mean it's not going to, okay? Restorative action and balancing fairness is always in action at a higher level. So if you are stuck on trying to get revenge, or you have a family member that's stuck on trying to get revenge or trying to get people back for what they did and get their lick back and this and that, it may be an unhealthy obsession with it. You might be jaded towards life. Understand that it's not always up to you how karma plays out, okay? And when it plays out. Stay true to your integrity. Put your faith in divine justice, and you will win in a way that brings benefit to many, okay? It says, don't let yourself down with behavior or attitudes that are unworthy of you. The Norse runic teachings of Elhaz brings elk wisdom. So this is an elk in the card. This is the soul quality of integrity, which places you on the right side of the spiritual laws of the universe. In the Norse tradition, the qualities of personal luck, grace, power, and the energy and ability to succeed are known as, y'all forgive my pronunciation, my mispronunciation, Haminga. This oracle foretells an increase in your success and in your capacity to impart your spiritual energy into your communities. This puts you in a position of increasing power and influence, which your integrity will help you express wisely, okay? So this is talking about basically not feeling protected, not feeling like somebody was punished for doing you wrong, okay? And not allowing that to affect your outlook on life, not allowing you to become jaded. It's kind of like how the victim becomes the victimizer. So you all may be in a situation where a family member has victimized you, or they have victimized other family members because they were a victim and they did not feel protected, okay? That happens quite often. Typically, people who are predators of some kind were probably preyed upon themselves. So you may see that predator-like behavior, or some sort of behavior that is abusive or harmful in some way, shape, or form. That is a pattern in your family, because it's basically people being like, well, it happened to me. So that doesn't mean you can do it to other people. We have become more objective, okay? Like I said, this person might be very jaded, so they need to become more objective. We have, what are you holding on to? Holding on to stuff instead of healing from things and releasing them. Yes, it takes time to be able to heal from things. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, but at least make the effort, okay? Holding on to grudges, holding on to things that happened to you in the past, and allowing that to dictate how the rest of your life goes in a negative way. Instead of transmuting that to work for you, you're allowing it to work against you. And again, remember, when I'm saying I could be talking about you or a family member, okay? We have brother. So maybe you all had a falling out with your brother. Maybe it was the brother that was doing something harmful to another family member, you could be a brother and you may feel like you were helpless and not able to help somebody else in your family because, of course, it is a burden placed upon, or it's an expectation of brothers or males to be protectors. So if you were a child and you had to watch your parent be abused or something like that, you may have felt helpless because you were not able to help them, okay? We have time to cut them off. Typically, what I would get from this is you need to cut somebody off, but what I'm getting from this is you may cut people off too quickly, okay? Like you don't have a threshold to deal with, to try to even figure out where somebody is coming from. We have what words play in your head when you think of your family. That may help you to figure out what some of the things are or what some of the patterns are that you need to heal from or that your bloodline needs to heal from. We have trigger warning. We have same-sex molestation. So it could have been a brother molesting another brother or a cousin or somebody, or a brother that was molested by somebody of the same sex. We have family healing, mental illness, okay? You all may have mental illness that runs in the family, or a mental illness could have been brought about by some sort of trauma. When we go through trauma, our mind can fragment, okay, as a protective measure, a survival tactic, which can look like mental illness, okay? But healing the spiritual aspect of this in the bloodline may help to prevent mental illness from constantly coming up in each generation to come. So I do believe there are spiritual connections to mental illness. And sometimes a mental breakdown has to do with basically being out of balance spiritually. We have who is lying. So again, somebody lied and wasn't telling the truth about something, and maybe the victim was not believed, okay? Again, going back to not being defended, we have secret love child. Okay. And we have cruel intentions. Now, Cruel Intentions is a movie. I don't know if the intent of the author of these cards was to remind people of the movie, but it is a movie with Reese Witherspoon, Ryan Phillippe, and I don't remember the other person's name. Is it, I want to say Selma Blair, but I don't think that's right. But Ryan Phillippe has a stepsister in that movie, and I do believe they had a sexual relationship or an inappropriate relationship. Even though they were not related by blood, they were related by marriage, I believe. So it still was considered inappropriate. So with this secret love child and cruel intentions, it's seeming like possibly maybe incest, like the actual definition of incest, which is people who are blood related having an inappropriate relationship, or maybe step brother, step sister, or something like that. Possibly a child could have been brought out of this, and if you were a product of this, that could have spiritual consequences or things playing out in your life because of just the way you were brought into the world, or the way this child was brought into the world. We also have uncle. Okay, so it could be an uncle that was abusing a child. Oh, uncle and brother. Okay, so an uncle is the brother of one of your parents. So since we're doing a maternal bloodline reading, this could have been your mother's brother who was doing something to them, or to you or your siblings, okay? We also have feeling oppressed, okay? Feeling oppressed by basically being victimized and not being believed. We have shame if there is any sort of incest, sexual abuse, molestation that comes with shame. So you all may need to work on healing from shame, okay? Working on self-love, working on liberating yourself from feeling oppressed because of what was done to you or your family member in the past. So if this was not happening directly to you, this is something that you can still work on trying to heal within your bloodline. So things don't have to happen directly to you for you to be able to heal them when it comes to your bloodline. You can do healing work to benefit your bloodline, because sometimes the person that it happened to is not really in a space to be able to do the work themselves, okay? So your ancestors may appreciate you taking the time to create some sort of ritual or something like that to work on healing your ancestral bloodline. We have failure. So feeling like a failure, deprivation, being deprived of justice, basically. Failing to receive justice, failure to be vindicated is heavy in this reading for your maternal bloodline. So I did ask for some advice from your ancestors. We have remember who you are, culture, resilience, beliefs, okay? Remember that you were a person before the situation happened to you that victimized you, or happened to your family member that victimized them. You were a person before then, so don't let that situation define you, okay? We also have focus on children, pregnancy, birth, adoption. So children are showing up heavy in this reading. So there needs to be a focus on protecting children more in your family, and not just from sexual abuse, but from any type of trauma, period, okay? Mental abuse, sexual abuse, financial abuse, taking out your feelings of shame and oppression and failure on your children, okay? If they are exhibiting signs of mental illness, letting them go to the doctor to get checked out, getting counseling, okay? Things of that nature. Two of earth is the keyword is change here. So there needs to be a change here so that the future generations and the children for the future generations don't have to keep suffering, okay? We also have moon, which represents cycle. Like I just said, there needs to be a change to shift the cycle to a more positive one in your family. And the moon represents subconscious, so there needs to be work on subconscious. And we have ruler, leadership. So the person that's watching this, you watching this, you might be the person in the family that needs to take the lead on this. Like I said, you don't have to be the person that this happened to in order to work on healing this, okay? So for example, I have family members that were molested, okay? They don't necessarily have to do the work to heal the bloodline. I actually take the time to do the work to heal the bloodline on my own. I actually created a maternal bloodline healing candle, okay? And I like that, and I speak that over my bloodline. So you can decide how you want to go about doing this. On the spiritual realm, and also in the physical realm as well, by seeing if people are open to conversation. They may or may not be open to it, and if they aren't, then you can't really do anything about it. But at least you tried, okay? So anyways, that is what I have for you all, pile number 1. So thank you for taking the time to watch this, and I'm wishing healing for you and your family members. And if you are the person that has been charged or tasked with healing your family, I'm just going to say I'm proud of you, because it's not easy to do, and people are not always going to be open to it. And it sometimes seems like, what can you do when people in your family are not willing to do the work themselves, and you can't control those people, but you do what you feel like is best for you to do. You don't even have to tell them if you're doing this type of healing work, okay? Because they may not be ready to deal with it. But yeah, so thank you for taking the time to listen. And if this resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe if you feel called to do so. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Toodles. Hey, pile number 2, you all chose the ram. So, like I said, you all could be Aries, or you just could have some good leadership qualities. You might be maybe the firstborn child, your parents' firstborn, or something like that. So let's go ahead and get into what needs to be healed within your maternal bloodline. So we are starting off with the Vision Quest, which is also the Hanged Man card. Okay, and we have the Moon. So some sort of perspective needs to change, but it is a change that needs to take place within your subconscious first with this Moon. So it may be a thought process that has been passed down from generation to generation that you aren't even aware of is subconsciously there. We have 4 of Earth, security. This could be a lack mindset that we're talking about. This could be a negative mindset when it comes to money, or what people refer to as a poverty mindset. Okay. We also have Mother of Fire, which is the Queen of Wands. Okay. So notice she is being pretty resourceful in this card. She's able to create a fire. She has it looks like a tapestry or something in the back. Okay. The wands can also represent creativity as well as entrepreneurship. Okay. So being able to use your creativity and your natural born talents to make money. So money is showing up here for you all. We also have 3 of Earth, which is growth. 3 of Earth typically represents the what is that in the Rider Waite? The 3 of Pentacles, okay, which can talk about teamwork. So you all need to learn how to work as a team to secure your family and your family finances, and to make sure the generations to come are secure as well. Okay, to create, to plant seeds. You see seeds are in here and they're sprouting up. The older generation in your family may not have planted seeds that would ensure the success of the generations to come. Okay, and we see that happening a lot within certain communities that aren't necessarily taught the importance of generational wealth, the importance of making sure money is circulating within their own communities. It's a crab in the barrel type of thing. Okay, we also have 8, the number 8, which is Uluka Vahini. First of all, 8 can represent abundance. So again, here we are with the money. It says, she who rides the owl brings justice. Now, this is from Alana Fairchild's Earth Warriors Oracle. I cannot talk today, y'all. And I am going to read from the book. I typically don't read from the book or read the books at all when it comes to Oracle decks, but Alana Fairchild has a lot of information in her decks. In her books, she does a lot of research. So I was led to read the book for these cards. So it says, I am the goddess of karma, wealth. What I tell y'all, I love how this stuff be just coming together. I told y'all this is a theme about money, wealth, and abundance. And what does this say? I am the goddess of karma, wealth, and balance. I come to correct adharma, that which is dark, unnatural, and against nature. Life, love, and goodness. And like I said, she's using her natural talents here to create fire. I redress the misuse of wealth and power. So like I said, there was a misuse of wealth in the older generations in your family, and they did not ensure that the future generations were going to have financial security. Okay, so where was I at? I redress the misuse of wealth and power. I enact divine justice and restore divine order. Trust in the innocence of your own soul and fear not, for I am ever watchful and my power brings truth. Divine justice is brought to bear. You all could possibly be Libras as well, because the Justice card represents Libra. It says, don't waste your valuable time and energy worrying about people getting away with things. It's not possible. everything. So she's saying it's not possible for people to get away with things. People are always going to get their karma back. It just might not look how you think it should look, or it may not come at the time you think it's going to come, but trust that it's going to come. So it's not your job to try to obsess over making sure they get what is due to them, okay? Everything is balanced out by karma in the long run. If you feel down or depressed, take action immediately to reconnect to joy, healing energy, and vitality of spirit. All things are measured and metered by clear divine vision, and your job is to put your faith in the work of the divine whilst you tend to your own journey with trust and commitment. So by healing yourself and the thing and your bloodline and the things that are directly affecting your ability to be successful, you may be setting off a domino effect for people to receive their karma. So it could depend on you actually doing what you need to do for yourself and focusing on your own healing journey instead of focusing on trying to make sure somebody else gets their karma. So there could have been some sort of stealing of money here. Within the family, and the family could be divided over money for some reason. Let me see what else. Does she go into anything else about the card? Yeah, so it's basically just going further into what was already discussed. And again, the number 8 is here, and the number 8 is for abundance. So let us continue. We also have recognized divine timing. So again, with this hangman card and divine timing and what she just said in her book, things are gonna happen when they're supposed to happen, not when you say they should happen or when you want it to happen. So you're just gonna have to sit tight, change your perspective on things, and you might need to focus on something else. And while you're focusing on something else, you may see other things fall into place. Temper your criticism, okay? So like I said, you may be critical of your higher power or your ancestors or your spirit guides, like, hey, what is taking y'all so long to get this taken care of? Okay, we have secrets. Okay, so there's some secrets in the family that have been exposed or are going to be exposed. We have generational wealth. What did I say with this Four of Earth? Something happened with older generations or within the family that affected the generational wealth or the lack thereof in a negative way. Okay, like I said, there could have been some thievery going on, or just basically being irresponsible, misappropriating funds, things of that nature. We have sibling rivalry, so this could have taken place between siblings. Cain and Abel. If those two don't represent sibling rivalry, I don't know who does. Okay, so yes, there is some sort of feud, and talking about generational curses and stuff, like, these were some of the first people on the earth, right? So this is going back how far back in your generation or in your family line is this going? And this is your maternal bloodline, remember that. So some sort of sibling rivalry has affected the family's generational wealth. We have money is involved. Oh my God, I love how this stuff comes together. I do readings often, but it's still amazing how everything just comes together, okay? We have money is involved, grandfather, what was in the will. So there could have been some fighting over maybe a grandfather left some money to somebody and it was stolen, or something shady was happening with the will. You all may be in probate court or going to probate court. You all somebody may have stolen or unfairly taken over a family business, something like that. We have auntie in reverse. Okay, so maybe the aunt or a woman in the situation maybe there was a male family member that kind of took advantage of maybe a woman or a female family member not necessarily knowing how to read contracts or read a will, or somehow trick somebody into signing something over, something like that. Okay, we have money addictions, gambling. So somebody may have gambled away the family fortune, possibly. Give the ancestors an offering. So their ancestors are like, hello, we could use an offering here, and it could be a grandfather or an aunt. And we have ghosts in the house. So you all may have heard some noises or seen some weird things happening. It could be your ancestors in your house. Maybe they want an offering, or maybe they want your attention, or they want you to look further into a will or a contract or something like that. We also have fear of responsibility, dishonesty. Somebody is being dishonest and they don't want to take responsibility for that because they don't want to take the consequences for maybe the lies that they told, or gambling away the money, losing the family's money. We have jealousy, terror. I don't know why this terror keeps coming up. This came up in a reading yesterday. That's so dramatic. Terror to calmness, okay? And we have jealousy. So a lot of jealousy in the family, but again, this is related to money. You may have one side of the family that's from the right side of the tracks, or that has new money. Okay, they might be from the wrong side of the tracks, but they might have married into money, or they're new money, so they acting brand new now. Okay, so there could be some jealousy there, or maybe they feel like everybody's jealous of them when they really aren't. You know how people do, right? So I also asked for some ancestor advice cards. So we have connect with water, water spirits, hydrate. So your ancestors may need an offering of water. They may want you to put water on an altar. They also want you to go to the water or near a body of water and drink more water, because water has messages in it. Water is a messenger. It can carry messages. So you also may have water spirits in your religion or your spiritual practices, your bloodline, whatever the practices are. There's a gnat. You know how the ring light like attracts gnats? There's one, a fly right here. A fly on the wall. There's some information they want you to have about something. Because if you're a fly on the wall, you're listening to information, but people might not necessarily realize you're there or know you're listening. Your ancestors have some sort of message to give you about this situation. And you may need to go near the water in order to get it, and bring them an offering. They said don't be showing up without an offering. We also have embrace your inner gypsy, freedom, fun, music, okay? So yeah, have some fun, listen to some music, go by the water, calm down. Whatever is going on with the family, trust me, it's going to be made right eventually. And sometimes it does take generations after generations to do that. So with this Ram card, you might be the leader or the person in the family that is going to set off the events that actually bring this to a close and bring the truth out and bring justice here. Okay, we also have passion, fire, and we have darkness, shadow. Okay, so she has a violin in this card, and this embrace your inner gypsy also is talking about music. So you all may receive messages through music as well. Maybe you need to listen to some like orchestra type music, symphonies or something like that with this violin here. Maybe you play instruments. Shadow, darkness, that's just saying that this all of this is going to come to light eventually. So yeah, just hold tight, okay? Just hold tight. So yeah, that's what I got for you all. So it seems to be the generational things that need to be healed within your bloodline. Could be related to poverty mindsets, being poor, not having money. Could also be related to maybe you all did have a wealthy family or a good amount of money or a family business, but it was somehow taken from the family, or somebody in the family wrongfully took over and took the power away from everybody else, and they may have even lost this family business or lost the generational wealth in the family by gambling or making irresponsible decisions, maybe lying on paperwork, or taking advantage of people not being able to read contracts, things of that nature. So there's a lot of fighting going on about money, about wills, about generational wealth, people lying, people being jealous, all that stuff. But it's going to end up coming to a head pretty soon. So that's what I have for you all. Pile number 2. Maybe in April, because my son is an Aries and his birthday is April 1st. Maybe some information is going to come out in April with this Ram card. Okay, so yeah, thank you for taking the time to listen and watch. If this resonated with you, please feel free to let us know in the comment section. Also, please like, share, and subscribe. And have a great rest of your day. Bye. Pile number 3, you all chose the sunflower, the flower bouquet, and the lily, okay? So flowers may be important to you. Maybe one of your ancestors loves flowers. They may want an offering of flowers. Or you could have an ancestor named Lily, okay? I've been sitting on my I've been sitting on my feet, I guess, my legs, and they're falling asleep now. So I don't know why I felt the need to tell y'all that, but I did. Let's get started. So we have the Medicine Man, and we have 5 of air, fear. So this is letting me know that you all may have some fear when it comes to practicing spiritual practices. So you all may be Christian right now, or you may come from a Christian family as far as your parents, or a religious family as far as maybe going back like 2 or 3 generations. But way farther back in your bloodline, you all may have had more spiritual practices than religious or Christian. It may have been more practices, you know, people that are like Aboriginal or natives, okay, before Christianity came about. Remember, I'm not throwing shade on Christianity, but remember, it's not the first religion. So if it's not the first religion, that means your family was practicing something else before it happened, okay? So, but as many of us, we have a fear of practicing spiritual things because we are told that they are wrong. We are told we're going to hell. Things of that nature. So you all may have a fear, and this fear may be basically holding you back because it's not allowing you to practice and connect with your ancestors. We have spirit guides. So yeah, you guys are not, you're kind of afraid to connect with your spirit guides. This also can represent the Justice card. So you could be Libras. 2 of air, which is the 2 of swords. This card says inner peace, okay? But the 2 of swords in the Rider-Waite could also be about kind of like confusion, like not necessarily knowing what direction to take, or being blindfolded, okay? You don't want to take the blindfold off because you're afraid of what you might see when it comes to accepting spirituality. Something could have happened in your family that caused you all to be afraid of this. So for example, this isn't an ancestor thing, but this is a past life thing. So I have a lot of spiritual gifts, but I was telling my past life reader, I don't like tapping into them because I'm kind of like afraid of it or whatever. So she looked and she saw in my past life, I actually like had snuck away in the night, and I went and I saw there were some witches that were practicing in the woods, and they caught me spying on them, so they decided they were going to torture me. So that is something that happened in a past life, but it's the fear is presenting itself in this life. So you all may have had something happen, maybe ancestors that were like in the Salem witch trials, or that were persecuted for practicing their spirituality. So that's playing out in your lifetime right now. We have the big medicine wheel. Okay, so this can also talk about homopathic, I don't know if it's called homeopathy, but natural medicines, medicine man, natural medicines. Okay, being a shaman, maybe you have shaman abilities that run in your family, but you might be afraid to tap into it. But that's what you need to tap into to be able to heal your family and your bloodline. We also have 38, which also breaks down to 11. You could be a life path 11. I'm a life path 11. So hey y'all. Um Now forgive me cuz I'm gonna probably say this wrong. Pachamama. She with the Andean Emerald Heart. Okay, so we're going to read from the book to see exactly what this is. There's a lot of animals on here. So this person may be connected with animal. You may have, like I said, shamanism in your bloodline, and tapping into animal totems may be something that can help you heal your bloodline, but you may be afraid to do so. So I'm going to read this. This is from Alana Fairchild's Earth Warriors Oracle, and she is very informative in her books. I usually don't read guidebooks, but she does a lot of research and she does a good job. So I've been led to read from the book for this card. So it says, Pachamama, I'm probably saying that wrong, the goddess of the earth, honored by the indigenous peoples of the Andes. You could have family members that, your bloodline can go back to the indigenous people of the Andes. Holds space for many different creatures to live within her fields, including the crazy, beautiful, dangerous, and divine humanity. She knows that life thrives through diversity. Okay, with this diversity, you may be afraid to venture off into things that your immediate bloodline has told you is taboo. You want to change some things up and not necessarily just do things because your family told you needed to practice certain things. You may be wanting to practice more spirituality, like I said. She is able to foster life with such genius and generosity because there is no fear. What do we have here? 5 of air, fear. Okay, every card from this deck has had a keyword from another card in all of these readings. Okay, let me see, where was I? She is able to foster life with such genius and generosity because there is no fear preventing her from holding space for the new to emerge. Be open to the new and the different in yourself and your life. Trust like the Earth Mother as an act of devotion. She is watching over you as you evolve to manifest the fullness of your sacred and original life purpose. Did I not speak about past lives? So that also talks about what is your first life. Your first lifetime is where you would have first started on the journey to work on your life purpose. And then we go through all these different trials and tribulations and things like that within different lifetimes. And sometimes we forget what our original life purpose was. So maybe you are tapping back into that. It says, don't hold back from what is happening. Things need to change, so let them change. It may seem chaotic and overwhelming now. However, when you realize that you don't need to figure it all out, you will relax, allowing the wisdom of what is happening at a deeper level to unfold. Trust that your inner resources are enough and will grow to meet your needs for soul expression in the world. Let me see. So yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to read from that. Let's go to our other cards. I'm going to turn this sideways to give me more room. We have gardener cultivation. So you are cultivating your connection, reconnecting with your original spiritual practices from your bloodline. And like I said, this is going to help to heal your bloodline now and generations to come. Spirit guide, shaman. What have I been saying? With this medicine man card, I was saying in this Pachamama card, you all have shaman abilities, but you've been afraid to tap into them. There's some sort of fear that is in your family bloodline from tapping into this, but this is how you're going to actually heal your bloodline, okay? We also have, oh, I have a lot of cards for this deck. I didn't even realize it. So we got another card from Alana Fairchild. And look, this number is 11 and 38 adds to 11. So like I said, life path 11. Also 1111 can represent a new spiritual breakthrough or starting a new journey, new portals opening. So you all may be newer to spirituality, or just dealing with trying to figure out if it's okay for you to practice spirituality. So let's see what this card says. Ayana Vision, Way of the Divine Feminine revealed. The Divine Feminine yearns to reveal her way and her wisdom to you that you may live passionately and purposely. As you trust her inner guidance voice, you recognize the authentic desires and visions that move you from within, that are the seeds of your sacred mission. Life purpose, sacred mission. You shall experience the clarity and soul deep relief that only truth can bring. You shall experience a knowing of purpose that awakens your ability to live deliberately and experience deep fulfillment. You are becoming aware of your life purpose and true inner passion. You are being lovingly pushed to admit to your authentic and most passionate soul yearnings, becoming bold with honesty. What means so much to you that you are willing to give up on all that you have held on to out of fear so that it may be? So you are letting go of beliefs that you have been taught, but you're holding on to because you're afraid that if you believe something else or if you practice something else, you might go to hell or something like that. So yeah, this is about accepting your true life purpose, walking in your purpose. Your family may be one that runs away from their purpose, okay? And that is what needs to be healed within your bloodline. So you are stepping up to the plate and walking in your purpose. And by you doing so, you may trigger other people within your family doing so, and that's going to cause the domino effect to heal your bloodline. So basically, lead by example. Even though you may be the first person in your family to embrace spirituality, lead by example. And if people see your life is improving, even if they disapproved initially, they might just jump on board. If they don't jump on board, then that's fine. Not everybody has to agree with basically the way that you live your life, okay? We have release fear. Fear is heavy in these cards. 5 of air, fear. We have this card, release fear. You guys are being held back by a fear that could be subconscious, okay? That's being passed down through your bloodline. We have developed stronger concentration, okay? So this is just saying focus more on your inner self, your higher self. What is your higher self telling you? Don't just do things just because you were taught that you had to do them. Once we grow up and step out of the nest when we're adults, we can decide how we want to live our lives. And we can hold on to the family values that we were taught. We can let some of them go if we want to. We can let all of them go if we want to. That's the beauty of being an adult. We have codependent behavior. Like I said, you're an adult. You're probably an adult watching this, right? You're an adult. Stop being codependent on your family and allowing them to dictate everything. You get to choose how you want to live your life. You don't have to tell them everything that you're doing either. We have domestic abuse, so you may have grown up in a family where there was domestic abuse, and it could have been something that has gone on for generations. So your grandfather may have been abusive, his father may have been abusive, or your grandmother may have been abusive, and her mother may have been abusive. Okay, so you all are needing to heal the domestic abuse in your bloodline. Who touched who? This could be sexually being touched or physically being hurt, like physically abused. Okay, family sin, so there could be some molestation that's gone on here, or incest. We have mother wounds. Okay, so there could be issues with the mothers and the daughters, or the mothers and the sons, and mother wounds are playing out. Okay, you may have had a mother that was not affectionate, that was detached, that was selfish. Okay, that only cared about herself. Maybe you had a mom that only cared about men, she only cared about her husband or her boyfriends. She was being abused in front of you or your family, and that affected the way you see women. Okay, so there's some mother wounds that need to be healed. We have I am proud of you. You may have a mother that doesn't tell you they're proud of you, that doesn't tell you they love you, that doesn't give you affirmation, positive affirmations, that doesn't connect with you on that level. You may have grown up trying to impress your mother, and it just never seems like they are accepting of you. Okay, so you may have some issues with mother because of that. We have transmuting generational chains. That's where this shamanism is coming in. Tapping into shamanism is going to help you transmute generational curses, turning them around to work for you instead of against you. We have bullying, so that can go with this domestic abuse. Also, you may have had a mother or a parent who was your first bully, the first person to ever pick on you, the first person to call you ugly, the first person to cuss you out, the first person to harm you physically could have been your mother, and that could have been her mother, and that could have been her mother. You see how it can go back generations to generations to generations? We have emotional abuse. So yes, there's definitely emotional, verbal abuse, domestic abuse. All of that has gone on in your bloodline. Even if it has not affected you directly, it affects you in some way because it affected your bloodline. We have avoiding reality. Okay, you, in order for parents or mothers to allow their kids to be abused, a lot of times they have to avoid reality. They have to distort the facts. They have to have selective memory, and they don't remember things exactly how they happen. They tend to remember things differently from the reality because they have to lie to themselves in order not to go crazy from guilt. Okay, so you may have family members that lie to themselves, give alternative facts, and have selective memory. Okay, we have unforgiveness here. So you all may suffer from unforgiveness because of the things you've been through, not being able to move on. Remember, forgiveness is for yourself, not for the other person. You don't have to be cool with that person. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to like them. Okay, you don't even have to love them, but you can still forgive them so you can move on. We have disgust. We have shock. Okay, some things that have happened in your family that would be shocking to others, that people would be disgusted by, especially with this who touched who and family sins. Okay, so you may not have wanted to talk about these things. With vulnerability, you may not want to be vulnerable and talk about these things, or with other people or with your family members, because you feel like they're disgusting. Okay, so being able to express yourself. I did ask for some ancestor guidance, and we have courage, strength, fearless, and warrior. And we have respect your physical body, detox, rejuvenate, relax. Maybe you all developed unhealthy eating habits. Maybe you eat when you're depressed, or you eat when you're being abused. That could be your addiction, or that could be a response to abuse. So you may need to detox your body. You may have become an alcoholic or a drug addict or something, doing something unhealthy that comes to your body. You may have body dysmorphia because your parent would make fun of your weight, or this, that, and the other. So, and then with this relax, you may be a workhorse. You may overwork to avoid reality. Okay, so you may need to take some time to be still and rest. All of that could be happening here. So your ancestors' message is to respect your physical body and have courage, and they want to connect with you. Okay. So that's what I have for you all for pile number 3. Okay. So this lily card also can represent your spirit guides being with you. Okay. So that's what I have for pile number 3. If that resonated, please feel free to let us know in the comment section if you feel comfortable doing so. Also, please like, share, and subscribe. I really hope you all were able to get some value out of this reading, because it took a while for me to get these readings done. It was so much messages that was coming through. I was like, I don't even know if I want to do it. So hopefully you all were able to receive value from these readings. And if you did, again, please like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye.